growing up, did you think, Jeanette Aw, when I grew up, I'm going to be an actress?
No.
First gig was a stand-in.
Yeah.
Were you like a double for one famous star?
Yes, Han Ling and Irene Ang.
Wow.
Yeah, so
we all have humble
so
beginnings.
I'm in the shadow. I never really thought of myself like, oh, I'm on top.
You never?
Never.
You blind? You don't know. I really don't want to do already. I quit. Hi everyone and welcome once again back to the Irene Ang show. Today I'm very nervous because I stalk her for very long. Finally, I have the courage to invite my stalkie to come to my show. And this woman, actually I was debating with myself to invite her or not to invite her because she made me look very bad. She's only the most awarded Star Award winner in history with 29 trophies to her name, and I have 1 nomination. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome the first time you ever see a stalker and a stalkie online, Jeanette Aw.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having me.
How do you feel about being stalked by me all these years?
I think we need to explain a little bit.
Please explain to them. If not, they really think I psycho leh.
No, I think it just so happened like we were always going for the same few events.
Yes.
And I was meeting you everywhere.
Everywhere.
And then she was just joking, wow, I'm stalking you.
Yeah. Every time I meet you, right, you are so composed, so graceful. How do you make the shift from being this public figure to now helming your Unscripted, Jeanette Aw?
I have been thinking about it for quite some time.
Oh.
Like, how do I do a series and in what angle? And I think it happened when I was like doing a variety program, and they captured a lot of my in the moment reactions.
Yeah, people don't see that about you.
And my friends told me that actually this is something that's quite interesting because people always see me in a character,
Yes.
or like in this kind of interview where like I'm more collected.
Today I make sure I make her not collected, okay?
Yeah, so
What 形象 also don't have.
so that's why we were thinking like, okay, let's go towards this direction and explore what we can do and open a different platform for people to actually get to know me better. And also like we have this thing called Unplugged. So what happens is the team will actually plan an activity without letting me know.
I know, I saw the
it's
B
like,
one.
Yeah, so it's like a
I would have
challenge.
fired all of them, okay? That's so scary.
Yeah, they made me eat insects as well.
I saw.
So like recently, apparently it's just been approved. Like certain insects, it's like
Not
approved for consumption. So but these are of course clean, and it's supposed to be like really clean.
High calcium and all that, right? I saw.
Yes.
What makes you even approve this show? Like Unscripted, and they make you do all these things. As her professional one stalker, I would have objected to it.
Well, I guess it was through all these activities that people can see my attitude towards things, or like to really like to see a different aspect of Jeanette Aw, right? It's not just like that.
You're not just a
character.
little Nyonya lah.
Yes. So
you know the one I really enjoy is the one with you and Chongqing baking.
oh
it's so
yes, I
funny.
know everyone. We had such good feedback on that.
No, yeah, I mean like,
Yeah.
I didn't know Chongqing cannot cook because I always see his Instagram posts, right? He's always having parties and there's a lot of food. I always thought he knew how to cook, and then he was doing the bak kut teh thing.
所以我可以加糖的吗？
可以。
Did you so I add the lemon juice
Yes.
and continue to stir
然后你看到 the big bowl with the sieve.
The big bowl with the sieve. What is
那
sieve?
个
This
the
one?
orange,
I-
the big orange sieve.
This one? The big this this one.
重庆你真的是很烂呢。He's really quite a bad baker, you know. I only want to ask you because the public perception is you are this composed. If there's anybody that I could think of that is very similar to you, is Princess Diana, flawless, gentle, graceful, and the only person in Mediacorp that I've not heard anybody say bad things before. Everyone loves Jeanette. And you are one of the seven princesses. How do you feel about like the impression that people have of you? How come you can maintain nobody hate you one? I'm sure a lot of you don't agree with me and you all don't like me, but nobody hates Jeanette Aw. Today I want to find out why.
I think think maybe like throughout my career, I've always been kind of like
Respectful, they say you're very respectful.
oh, that's nice to
And
know.
the young ones say you are very nice and very patient. Have you ever lost it?
Yes, of course.
Really?
Yes, yes. of
She has ever
course.
lost it? When? Why? Who?
Why I'm patient is like if I see them putting in the hard work, and even if they NG, I will still go through it with them again and again because I see that they're really putting in a lot of effort and they're really, really trying. And maybe they're just nervous that causing them to NG. But if like you are obviously lazy, don't do your homework,
And they still come and give attitude.
yeah, I would get angry.
Can I know, because I've tried to ask a few people before today, how is Jeanette like if she's angry? And nobody can answer me. So, how is Jeanette like when she's angry? Like, how?
Okay, like if my ears start to get red, I get this flush from being angry.
Oh.
While you know I'm very, very, very angry.
And what makes you get to this point?
There was this particular drama where all the scenes I'm just involved in so many scenes
Yeah.
and everything was around me. And my co-actor, my main co-actor, would come on set, be eating his breakfast and reading his script for the first time when we are reading our lines.
Oh, this one also I cannot tahan.
Yeah, and it was every day, and I have so many intense scenes, like crying scenes and scenes where we were quarreling with each other because it's like
So you need the lines to be correct, like a
Yes,
tennis
yes.
match,
and,
right? I
and
showed to
he's
you.
always like, you know, like trying to remember his lines as we were acting.
Wow.
So I really told him like, can you please like at least do your homework because this affects everybody and I'm like on set from morning till night
Yes.
and it's very, very intense and if you do your work, we will all get through it very, very fast.
Yes.
So
So you actually sat down with this actor?
Yes.
Wow.
And he actually told me like, oh, you think it's so easy? You try doing something in another language. I'm like, oh, yeah. But
So his native language is maybe not Mandarin lah.
yeah.
I'm not speaking for him, but I mean, last year I did the 2 Chinese drama, and I almost died lah. Yeah.
But he does speak Chinese.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's just
If you took on this project,
then you have to do homework.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I see your attitude and I see that you're really trying, I will also try to help you. So that's why I will like be patient with them because everybody goes through that stage.
And I think even if Jeanette scold you, she will scold you in this tone. Irene Ang is not like that. No, no. Last time when I had a huge events team, I have this rule of the 5 senses. Like the proposer must come with like when the guests come in, must smell nice. Then the music must be correct. And when I don't see that, I throw the script into the dustbin. And then I'll say, you go and do, and don't go home until you redo. This is me like 20 years ago, 20 years ago, 20 years ago. Today, I've like, sorry, do you mind changing this Jeanette's questions? I think they are too gossipy. Yeah. And I know Jeanette would not like all these, like she wanted to be positive and, you know, like, I choose not to be angry as much as I can, you know. As a prolific actress that you are, right, do you sometimes get stuck in the role? Losing part of yourself. Let's say sometimes you shoot those drama like very long, 6 months in China or in Taiwan or wherever. But when you come home, how do you find back the Jeanette Aw again?
I actually think like when I play the usual tragic heroine, right? Like the good character, but like super poor thing kind.
Yeah.
I actually find that I go home and I'm okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's only when I play characters with
Evil,
more
is it?
psychological problems. I played one with multiple personality disorders, and I remember going home and still crying.
Wow.
Yeah, so I feel those heavy roles hit me harder. And there was this role in The Dream Makers, so we had a part 2, and she actually went into depression. I felt myself going into it as well.
It's too much method acting, is it?
Yeah. I actually also went to like 2 doctors who treated patients with depression, and I spoke to them. I did a lot of research, and when I was filming, I also met with a lot of situations that I felt like I was like in the same situation as my character.
Wow.
And I felt myself going into a depression as well, and I was losing weight even though I'm still eating.
Oh,
So
okay.
I try not to bother my parents
So they see them so they don't know you lost weight.
yeah, or like even when I see them, I try to go when I'm in a better state. Like yeah,
The Chinese say 大福大起, is it? Like your emotions are not the like very
like
like.
you mean my own emotions?
Yeah.
Ah,
Are you an emotional person?
there's part of me that's very emotional, but there's part of me that's very practical as well. I don't know. It's like how do I
How you balance?
yeah, how do I explain that? So when I did my first short film, I was like
Wow, yeah, congratulations.
I was acting and directing. So that is when I thought that, okay, wow, that left and right brain thing is very real.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when do you cut and when do you like
I've done it.
go
I've
in
done
and
it.
go out?
I've produced twice, like 2 movies, and I told myself I'm never going to produce movie again because producing and acting in a movie is
Yes.
a completely different position.
Yes, like it's either you write the script and you direct and don't act,
Yes.
or you write the script and you act and you find someone else to direct you.
Yeah, I mean, like you look at Hollywood, like some of the actors, they can do that, Clint Eastwood and all that. They can
Yes.
write and also act.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it,
I know, because sometimes it's really like, I still remember this scene, I was like crying, right? I was telling my DOP, like, okay, later this one, low angle.
Since I'm crying, can you please shift the angle?
So it's kind of it's very real, this like left and right.
You know, like when you first won your Star Awards, right? That was 20 years ago, you know? Did it change you, encourage you, and then now that you are in the history of Singapore, the most awarded actress, right? Did it change how you approach your characters, or what? Do you feel very stressed? Like I'm the historical Jeanette Aw. I get this role. I better historical. I mean, in a good way. Not that you have passed on or anything. It's that I have this pressure of being. I mean, like there's so many artists, yet you are the historical Jeanette Aw who won the most Star Awards. Of course, that's because you're stalkers like me. And do you feel pressurized or not? I feel very pressurized for you, you know.
Oh, I never thought about it this way. I would say all the awards that I had were, in a way, gifts from fans because of their support. And they would call in to support, vote for me. That's
Spend
how
a lot
I
of money last
That's
time.
how I received my top 10 and like one after another until I got my all-time favorite. And there was this year that was like so amazing for me when I took back 6 awards.
Overachiever, right? Yeah.
Popularity votes. So I always felt that these were gifts to me by my fans who wanted to express their support for me. So I never thought about this as like, oh, this is an additional pressure.
Are you still eligible to get anything from Star Awards?
I'm not sure.
After you sang Sentai, you're now on the pedestal already, right? Are you allowed to? I think Best Actress still can now.
But I think that if like, I felt the pressure because it's not because of getting the awards, but because it was a pressure from myself because I wanted an acting award so bad. Yeah.
So that you get recognized, but then you already recognized so many times already, what? No, but I can only imagine, right? It must be so stressful staying on top. You know that Chinese saying like it's 起步难 don't know what, then like there's maintain on top is more nan something like that. Okay, like one of those 成语 which I don't know. Anybody knows the 成语?
I never really thought of myself like, oh, I'm on top.
You never?
Never.
You blind? You don't know? Wait, how can you not know you are the top artist?
No, really, I never really.
So what do you
thought
think
about
of
it
yourself?
this way.
Okay, honestly, like, what do you think of Jeanette Aw, the actress?
I've always worked towards being recognized as a good actor, and
Okay.
I've only gotten my first award after like what, 18 years. I just felt like, you know, how do people determine like a good actor? And I found it so hard to like prove myself, and I was just working so hard towards that.
I win 2 times Best Comedy Actress. I've never won 1 time popular. Maybe people like to laugh at me, but I'm not popular. I don't know, you know. But I never also like you think that I'm on top. I always feel like it's a blessing every day if I get a job to entertain people, make people laugh. And perhaps for you, is it the idea of always doing another role better, or another experience of another character? You know, another journey that you can. Is that how you approach your roles?
I get a lot of very similar roles.
They just see you like that, right?
That very good, strong girl that comes from a single family that needs to raise the whole village, you know, and she's got all these burdens on her shoulder, but she's able to like go through. So I always
Is
get
that similar
kind
to you in real life?
I guess so. Yeah, quite similar.
I can sense that actually. But does the producer and scriptwriters allow you to? How much do they allow you to
Well,
input?
I think I've always been quite blessed. I've always had I've always
Open-minded.
had that freedom to create that character. I think they've always trusted me with the roles that they've they've put in my hands.
But when you were growing up, did you think, Jeanette Aw, when I grow up, I'm going to be an actress?
No.
No, right?
No.
What were you thinking when you were a kid?
So I was always into dance. I did ballet, and then after that I was going into I was in NUS Dance Ensemble, so I was doing modern dance and jazz and all that.
And what were you studying in NUS?
Yes.
Which course were you in?
I was in the arts, so I did theatre studies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But you were more into dance.
I was into dance and I was on the stage.
That explains her grace. I should enroll into NUS.
Dance
ensemble.
ballet.
Do ballet.
Then my dad was like, "Oh no, you don't do dance. You know, get something proper."
Cannot make money, right?
And then after that, I was like, okay. So I actually went into NUS and I did theatre studies. So
you actually like the stage, actually, not TV or movie. Okay.
Yes. So I remember when I was doing ballet, my teacher actually told me that, oh, you know, that Mediacorp is looking for a stand-in for a group of actors because they had this charity program, and the program was like puppet dancing and they needed a ballerina, like a stand-in. So she sent me there. That was my first gig.
First gig was a stand-in.
Yeah.
Were you like a double for one famous star?
Yes.
Who was it?
So I think I was the double for 2 of them, Pan Ling Ling and Lina Ang.
Wow.
Yeah. So
we all have humble
so
beginnings.
I'm in the shadow.
Oh, so they thought it's them, but actually you're the one dancing.
Yeah. Yes. So then after that, I remember Lina saw me and she was like, "Hey, actually you're quite pretty. Have you ever thought about acting?" I said no.
I just want to dance.
I remember I answered her no. And then fast forward a few years, SPH Channel U was auditioning.
Correct.
And my friend actually sent in my...
Without your permission.
Yeah. And he just told me, I sent in your particulars to this particular company, and they called me up and they asked me to audition. And I met Lina there and she's like, "Hey, I thought you said you don't want to act."
Does Lina remember you were the ballerina?
Yes.
But when your first acting role that time, did you go through any acting training and did anyone teach you? Was it difficult for your first role?
We actually had this newcomers program with Channel U. They called Route to Glamour.
Oh, I got it.
And they had like 6 of us going through like classes, various classes. We had wushu training, we had like hosting training, some acting training, and they all filmed it into a program. Yeah, and then after that, they would have like voting for like the best newcomer. And
Who to vote? Audience?
So they actually open to the public. Yeah. So that was the first kind of class that we had, like that was filmed into.
Was there a lot of students?
Only 6 of us.
Then people had to vote these 6.
Yeah.
And what happened to you?
I won.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Then they put me in my first drama. It was very different from stage. So you had to adjust from stage acting to TV
Yes,
acting.
at least you had some stage experience.
Yeah.
But is it
it's
very
still
different?
Yeah, I found it very different. On stage, it's
Outwards, right?
And like on TV, it needs to be very natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on big screen, even worse. It's really just the eyes and little only.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing comedy, that's why I stick to comedy. After that, you became You joined Mediacorp after this band.
No, I joined before.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was the very
Juicy.
first. So I was the first one that crossed.
After you
over.
win, then you finish your contract, then you cross over, or you haven't finished, they buy you over.
Channel U sent me to Taiwan to film, and I had to defer because I was offered honors for my theatre studies.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to
You
defer.
see lah. I say she spoil market. Wait, I must finish first. We win so many awards, then got what scholarship, honors, no. Please continue.
So I was
Carry on.
I was studying full time and acting full time. And then after that, they sent me to Taiwan. So I had to defer a semester. So I couldn't complete. And then after that, I came back and then I told my boss that I wanted to finish my studies. But he was wanting to send me to another country.
Wow.
Yeah, so I told him that, maybe I still want to go back to finish my paper. Like,
Luckily, you go Taiwan, then Chinese improve.
oh yes,
right?
yeah.
Actually, you thought you go
I
there
was
for
like thrown into
honor.
the deep end of the
No
sea,
choice,
you know?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like they didn't really understand English.
Yeah.
So I was really forced to speak. But I was working with a group of very young actors around my age, and they were like super nice. So I'll be like, 这个怎么讲? And then they'll be like, they're trying to guess, like play charades with me, and then trying to guess what I wanted to say. I was like learning a lot faster.
And then after that, you went to Mediacorp and you became one of the 7 princess. How do you feel being labelled as one of the princess?
I didn't feel anything special.
Is it?
Yeah, but I thought that it's like the very first time the media picked out like 7 of us and to actually put us in this group like 7 princesses. So I guess it was like an easy way of reference for them. People.
Easier to identify, is
Yeah.
it?
But I didn't feel like, it made me very special.
Do you?
Like, I'm a princess now.
Still lah. After 18 how many years?
I'm like, it doesn't make me feel like I'm a princess.
You never thought like you have special treatment because you are one of the
No,
princess?
no.
They never give you a special treatment?
No.
Then what is the benefit of being the princess?
Like what I said, maybe like easy reference, like 七公主, this you.
Or 你就是七公主 I need to find my Flies Entertainment's own Powerpuff Girl. Because all of you are still very much on top of where you are, except that some of you, like Felicia, has gone to do other stuff, and Ryan also. And you have become a baker. What gave you the courage to step away from the limelight for a while to do what you do now? I mean, was it long planned or it just happened that you had enough one day and said, okay, you know what? I always had this dream, I'm just going to do it. Heck it. What was the process?
I still remember a conversation I had with a director, and he was asking like, so how long do you see yourself acting? And I remember that I replied him, I don't think I will be acting for life.
And when was this? In the beginning of your career or?
Yes, very, very early on in my career.
Oh,
I guess
you
I was
already
very
knew
sure.
you're not going to do that all the time.
I'm not going to do this for life, not till I'm like 70, 80, not that kind. And I believe that I still had other dreams that I wanted to do, that I wanted to pursue. And I just felt that, like, it came to a point where I felt that, I think maybe this is the right time. Yeah, and I've always enjoyed baking. When I bring my bakes on set, and when people enjoy it, it actually gives me
a lot of joy.
Yeah, and it's a very simple kind of joy.
Do you realize that doing baking, you may not make as much money? The first thing that came to my mind, does she know what she's doing? Did you think about the financial impact it will have with this decision of yours? Because F&B is a lot of things you cannot control.
Yes.
Now, to be honest, in the beginning years, I
know.
made money. And I love being there. I host a lot of my artists there, and I have a rooftop bistro,
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, which is my Tony Leung movie type of Wong Kar Wai thing. I love the rooftop. It was very meaningful for me because my F&B is actually my mentorship program. Like I mentor young people, and I let them become owners as well. And all I do is just push them from behind, help with some marketing. It's another part of my creating process.
Yes.
You see, and I feel good that I can help some young people realize their dreams. But then, of course, COVID is another story, right?
So the thing is, like, I felt that I would just went with the flow. Because what happened was like COVID, I couldn't travel for work anymore.
So,
and
might as well
then
bake,
that's when I started baking at home. And then after that, there were like, there were a lot of people asking if they could order.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos.
Yeah, so I thought that okay, let's try. And the response was quite overwhelming, and slowly my home felt like a warehouse, you know, with the ingredients, the packaging and everything, and I just felt like
Fly all over.
and a home is for you to rest.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you know what, I need a proper place. That's when I started to look for a shop. For the beginning, it was quite alright, but of course with each renewal, rental is killing
In
the
Singapore,
business.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, maybe I need to like change the concept of this or like steer it in a different direction.
I have some ideas for you.
Oh,
Later
okay.
I finish, I tell you.
Okay.
Jeanette Aw is known to be beautiful, graceful, never age. I think somebody recently I read, because of all the Little Nyonya, Emerald Hill, they said, how come you look the same one? You know, do you feel trapped by this image of perfection that people gave you, which bestowed unto you? Yeah, bestowed unto you. Like, Jeanette Aw is perfect. I mean, as your stalker, I couldn't find one flaw with you, which frustrates me because I'm very sure there must be something wrong with you. Right.
Like digging.
To not have a single thing bad to say about you. Can you give me something? Then why don't you give me yourself lah? Can you give me some, like give me 2 bad things about Jeanette Aw? Huh?
Wow.
Okay, just now you got say one already. If your co-actors are not professional,
Yeah,
it drives
yeah,
you mad,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Okay,
of course,
so that
of
one
course,
I
yes.
count as one.
Okay.
One more.
One more.
You see, even she herself cannot find fault. Cannot find fault with herself. What kind of rubbish is this? I really don't want to do already. I quit.
Come back. Okay, so it's just me.
You want to be the host of the Irene Ang podcast?
So I can
Also,
interview you.
okay, interview me now. No, seriously, do you feel trapped, right? Do you feel pressurized?
No, there's one.
Okay, wow, got one. Please zoom in. Got one, no? Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
No, because sometimes I like to be at home and all that. So like the moment I sat on this chair and I was like, okay, I shall just like cross my legs. Your very perfect crew was like, this one don't look nice.
So you see, that's how flawless she is. She don't care, but people care. In the presence of Irene Ang, no matter how she sit, she will still be more gentle and more graceful than me. All right, so anyway, we come to this point. Okay, you're telling your stories in the Jeanette Unscripted. How does it feel to speak in your own voice without a script, and why should audiences watch the show?
I think before I launched the channel, I was really scared. Would the audiences be
Shocked
open
by you.
to this side of me, and would my sharing be something that they will be interested to know?
Of course.
So I'm like, at first you feel very excited, but as the launch date comes closer and closer,
Then before the video goes on air, like, oh shit, if there's only 2%, which is my mom and my manager, how should I...
yeah. But I think after we've launched and a few episodes have come up and the response has been like very encouraging, I felt that I'm headed towards the right direction. And I've come to meet a lot of different people that I don't see in the industry, in the entertainment industry. Totally different.
Out of your normal
Yes.
comfort zone
And
circle, right?
It's made me grow as well, because like I realized that wow, there are so many things that I should have been aware, you know, but I didn't, and there are times when I got cheated, things like that.
Yeah.
So
and you trusted the wrong people. But
Yeah.
but that's the real world out of the real world.
Yeah, and that's the moment that I felt that, oh wow, actually I've been so protected within this entertainment industry.
So before we go, is there anything you'd like to advise or say to your fans out here, who is my fans also now?
I think the most important thing is to really know what you want. And for me, I kind of feel like when I hit a plateau with something, I would like to move on and challenge myself to do something else. And maybe stepping out of your comfort zone is actually a way to grow. And I think that I've grown in many ways.
In the last few years,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, like what we mentioned, meeting so many different people and learning how to like overcome problems and to actually face real life issues. But I think the most important thing is to be happy with what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people only see my successes and they think I'm this entrepreneur that is like very clever. But let me tell you, I failed 3 times more than I succeed. Every success I have was due to another 2 failed experiments or business ventures. So, and that's how you get to here. But for me, what is important is the courage to face your mistakes and also the courage to know when to stop.
Yeah.
Well, so it's been great talking to you, Jeanette. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Unfiltered Jeanette on my show, the Irene Ang Show. And I'm very happy that it's not just me inspiring, but you have inspired me and my team, right? They were like, when I talk, they like, right, when you're talking, they're, so I've been watching all of you. Okay? So if you enjoy our conversation today with Jeanette and I, Stalker and Stocky, please like, share and subscribe. And please follow her JA Unscripted also. And please like, share and subscribe
To the Irene Ang Show.
Thank you, Jeanette Aw.
Thank you.
Yay! I got one question. Why she never bring her cake here?